on, guys? In this video we're doing an overview of the Brother printer. This is a laser printer. It is a DCP-L2 the model number is too confusing. I forgot. Just reading the video title. Anyway, the reason I'm not doing a review of this is because I don't really review and compare printers. So if I were to review it and give it a score, it would be unfair. So I just decided I'll just do an overview, but show you how it works and the speed, the noise output, just generally how it works. I feel kind of weird making a video on a printer, but hey, it's pretty expensive printer, so I guess if someone's interested in buying it, then I'm trying to help you out as much as I can. So basically, this is a monochrome printer, which is black and white, and it is laser, and it is fairly large. The printer itself is fairly large, with dimensions of 16.1 by 15.7 by 12.5 inches, and weighing at 24 pounds. Now I wanted to give you guys a rough idea as to how loud this printer can get when you start it up. And this is roughly the same volume output you'll be getting when you actually print an actual document as well. So that initial noise you just heard at the beginning, that's pretty much how loud it gets, and now you're hearing the mechanics working inside. This pretty much as loud as it's gonna get, even when you're printing a document. So I was able to get this printer for about $100 Canadian during Boxing Week sale, which is pretty cheap because here in Canada it averages minimum 160, and in the US it averages minimum like 145, I think, even then if you're lucky. So the printer is pretty expensive. It's big, it's loud, only prints black and white. Now, you might be wondering, why would I get black and white and all these other problems and still mention this printer is great? Well, first off, I only print text, so I don't really care about color. The thing about laser printers, and this one included, is that despite the flaws I mentioned, is that even when you buy it, it's expensive, but after that, the toner is cheap. It's more cost effective to spend the money outright than it is in the long run. The toner will last longer and not dry up as quickly as ink in an inkjet printer. It is larger, that can't be avoided, and it is fairly loud, but if you can get past those things, getting a laser printer is much more cost effective in the long run than it is in the initial cost that you pay to buy it. There's a speed factor that inkjet printers to print are very slow. Laser, once it's warmed up, it's lightning fast. So this printer does have a 2-line LCD display, which allows you to go through various controls and commands. Now, it does also have a wireless adapter built inside, which supports 802.11bgn. And after I first got this printer, I plugged in the CD into my computer to download the drivers, and I was able to print right away wirelessly. I never connected this printer to my computer once, even when I first got it to print anything. Setting up Wi-Fi was actually really easy, and going through the general controls is fairly easy as well. So this printer is advertised as being 30 ppm, which is 30 pages per minute of text printing. And I would say that's somewhat accurate because I was able to print about 35 pages in a minute and 10 seconds roughly. So the speed is definitely there. There's also a low toner mode. So if you're going to print a document that you don't mind being a little bit faded, but you want to save toner, you can do that. So the toner will last you that much longer. Not only that, it does have duplex printing, which basically means it can print double-sided on a page, so you're saving half the paper. So not only does this printer have a scanner, which I'll be showing you the bed in which you put documents you want to scan, but it also has a photocopying function. So the paper will feed up at the top, which the flap can actually be opened, and then it'll just feed on through and scan. So you can actually photocopy or scan using this method at the top tray, or you can use the actual scanning tray itself to scan documents in much more better quality, like pictures for example. There's not many buttons on this device, which is actually a good thing. This actually makes it a lot more easier to use. There's a lot of printers nowadays that have too many controls and commands. Keep in mind this printer does not have a fax machine built inside, which for me to find a multi-functioning printer without fax, because I never use fax, I have no care for it, was very difficult to find, and I'm pleased that this one does not have a fax machine built inside. So in terms of wireless printing, if you have the drivers installed on the computer, you can do that easily. But there's also the support for other wireless printing methods. You can actually do this on your smartphone. If you have Google Cloud Printing on your smartphone, or you can use Air Printing, a tablet or phone if it supports that function, of course, which most of them do. So as for the amount of paper you can put in the bottom tray to feed to print out, you can put up to a max of 250 pages, and that includes letter size or legal size paper. So if you're looking to refill the toner in this printer, you could probably look for third-party toner cartridges and just put it in. But if you want Brother toner, you have two options available, which is great. The first one is the cheaper one. It's the TN630, which allows for roughly 1,200 pages of printing. Now I can't verify these numbers because I haven't printed that many pages yet, but these are the numbers given by Brother. And the bigger and more expensive toner from Brother is the TN660, which prints approximately 2600 pages, which again, these are numbers given from Brother. I'll probably never reach that number for years to come. So I know I mentioned this is not a review video, it's an overview, so I'm just going to give my personal opinion, and I am very happy and pleased I bought this printer. It works great. And of course, yes, it is monochrome, it's black and white, it does not print color, but to me, it's not a big deal. I almost never print color. The main thing to keep in mind is I was able to get it for $100, which is a wicked deal. You might not get the same thing, but try to look for it on sale. It tends to fluctuate in price. But the other thing is that, yes, it is expensive compared to inkjet, but in the long run, if you print a lot, or almost never, a laser printer like this is more better on cost than a inkjet is. Inkjet, if you don't use the ink for a while, it will eventually dry up. Refilling is more expensive. But laser, yes, it is louder, it is bigger, but it saves money in the long run. The toner doesn't dry up as easily. You can just like not touch it for months and months. It will not dry up. And of course, the setup of this printer, I never used an instruction manual to print or scan at the beginning. I just did it. Now you might not have the same luck if you're not that tech savvy, but you get the idea that it's fairly easy to use. And not only that, the wireless printing works fantastic. When powering it up after a while, it does take about 15 seconds to warm up, which isn't that long. And then to print the first page will take a few seconds of warming up, not very long. And then after that, if you're printing continuously, you're printing very, very fast. So I hope if you're looking for a monochrome printer and this is one you've been eyeing, hopefully this video did help you out a little bit. But that's it from me. If you guys found this video useful, be sure to check out my Facebook, Google+, Twitter links in the video description. Hit the like button, it does help, subscribe, and thanks for watching.